Most men spend their entire lives trying to understand women through guesswork, movies, and bad advice from friends who are just as confused as they are. But the ancient Stoics knew something modern men have forgotten. Understanding another person's mind is not about manipulation or games. It's about clarity, self-control. Today, you're going to learn 10 truths about female psychology that will change the way you see relationships forever. And by truth number 7, you'll understand why so many men fail at love despite trying so hard. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is a place where we combine timeless Stoic philosophy with modern psychology to help men become stronger, wiser, and more emotional. Relationships are one of the hardest parts of life to master, not because women are complicated creatures designed to confuse men, but because most men were never taught how to actually observe, listen, and understand the emotional world of a woman. The Stoics believe that wisdom begins with understanding what you can control and what you cannot, and nowhere is this more important than in matters of the heart. So grab a pen if you want to take notes, because these 10 truths are going to save you years of confusion, heartbreak, and wasted effort. Before we dive in, if you find value in this kind of content, do us a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could change the way you think about relationships, love, and self-mastery. Now let's begin with the first truth. Women do not primarily fall in love with looks, money, or even charm in the way most men assume. Women fall in love with how a man makes them feel, specifically how safe, seen, and valued they feel in his presence. This does not mean ambition or physical presence don't matter, but they are secondary to emotional safety. A woman can be surrounded by wealthy, attractive men and still feel completely unseen, while a man of modest means who truly listens to her, who remembers the small details of her day, who makes her feel like her thoughts matter, can capture her heart entirely. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we should focus on what is within our control, and how you make someone feel is entirely within your control. Stop obsessing over external validation and start mastering the internal quality of presence and attentiveness. The second truth is that women test men not out of malice, but out of a deep evolutionary and psychological need to verify strength and consistency. When a woman pushes back, disagrees, or creates friction, she is often unconsciously checking whether you will crumble under pressure or remain grounded. This is not a game designed to torment you. It is a survival mechanism refined over thousands of years, because a woman's well-being and that of potential children has historically depended on choosing a partner who can remain calm and steady during chaos. The Stoic idea of the inner citadel, the fortress of the mind that cannot be shaken by external events, is exactly what a woman is looking for when she tests you. She wants to know that your sense of self does not depend on her approval. Men who lose their composure during these moments, who beg, who get defensive, or who abandon their boundaries, often lose respect rapidly. Men who remain calm, clear, and unmoved without becoming cold or dismissive pass these tests almost effortlessly. The third truth is that women are deeply attuned to energy and emotional states from the words being spoken. A man can say all the right things, but if his energy communicates anxiety, neediness, or insecurity, the words become meaningless. This is why confidence, real confidence rooted in self-acceptance rather than arrogance, is so magnetic. The Stoics taught that true strength comes from within, from aligning your actions with virtue rather than seeking approval from others. When you stop needing a woman's validation to feel complete, your energy naturally shifts. And paradoxically, this is when women become more drawn to you. Desperation repels, while calm self-assuredness attracts. The fourth truth is that women often communicate indirectly, through tone, body language, and subtext, rather than blunt statements, especially when discussing emotional topics. This can be frustrating for men who are trained by society to value direct communication, but understanding this pattern rather than resenting it is key. When a woman says "I'm fine" in a tone that clearly signals she is not fine, she is often testing whether you are attentive enough to notice the disconnect between her words and her emotional state. This is not manipulation. It is often simply a different communication style shaped by socialization. The wise man learns to listen not just to words, but to tone, pacing, and body language, developing what the Stoics would call attention, a disciplined awareness of the present moment and the person in front of you. The fifth truth is that women are highly perceptive when it comes to detecting inconsistency between a man's words and his actions. If you say you value honesty but you're evasive about small things, if you say you're not interested in someone but your behavior suggests otherwise, women often pick up on this incongruence almost instantly, even if they can't articulate exactly why something feels off. The Stoics placed enormous value on living in accordance with your stated principles, on integrity between belief and action. A man who is congruent, whose actions match his words consistently, builds a kind of trust that cannot be faked or manufactured through clever lines or manipulation tactics. This is why authenticity, though it sounds like a cliché, remains one of the most powerful tools a man can develop. The sixth truth is that emotional validation matters more to most women than problem-solving in many conversations, particularly when they are venting about a difficult day or a frustrating situation. Many men make the mistake of immediately jumping into fix-it mode, offering solutions before the woman has felt heard. This often creates frustration on both sides. The man feels unappreciated for his practical help, and the woman feels unheard and dismissed. The skill here is learning to ask whether she wants advice or simply wants to be listened to. This single question, asked with genuine curiosity, can transform the quality of communication in any relationship. The Stoics taught the discipline of listening without immediately reacting, of pausing before responding, and this pause is exactly what many men need to cultivate. The seventh truth, and perhaps one of the most important, is that respect is often more foundational to female attraction than most men realize. Many men chase romantic gestures, compliments, and displays of affection while neglecting the deeper foundation of mutual respect. A woman who does not respect a man, no matter how much he showers her with gifts or affection, will not remain attracted to him long-term. Respect is built through boundaries, through self-respect, through a man who values his own time, goals, and principles enough that he does not sacrifice them entirely for approval. The Stoics taught self-respect as a cornerstone of virtue, the idea that a man who does not respect himself cannot expect others to respect him either. This is why boundaries, far from pushing women away, often deepen attraction, because they signal that a man has a sense of self that is not entirely dependent on her. The eighth truth is that women often value emotional availability far more than grand gestures or material displays of affection. Being emotionally available means being willing to be vulnerable, to share your fears, your ambitions, your insecurities, without using vulnerability as a manipulation tactic or a cry for constant reassurance. Many men were raised to suppress emotion entirely, believing that Stoicism, in the popular misunderstood sense, means having no feelings at all. But the actual philosophy of Stoicism never advocated suppressing emotion. It advocated understanding emotion, examining it rationally, and choosing how to respond rather than being ruled by it. A man who can share his authentic feelings calmly, without spiraling into anxiety or seeking constant validation, creates a depth of intimacy that few men achieve, because few men are taught this skill. The ninth truth is that women often notice and are deeply affected by how a man treats other people. He treats her directly. How you treat a waiter, how you speak about your mother, how you handle a stranger who wrongs you in traffic. These moments reveal character more honestly than any romantic declaration ever could. Women are often searching, consciously or unconsciously, for evidence of a man's true character, because words are cheap, but consistent behavior across many contexts is rare and valuable. The Stoics taught that virtue is demonstrated through action, not through claims about oneself. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the importance of just and fair treatment of everyone, not only those who can benefit you. And this ancient wisdom applies directly to how modern relationships are built and sustained. The 10th and final truth is that lasting attraction is built through growth, not stagnation. Women are often deeply attracted to men who are actively working on becoming better versions of themselves, who have goals, who are disciplined, who treat life as a project of continual self-improvement rather than settling into complacency. This does not mean constantly chasing status symbols or external achievements to impress her, but rather cultivating an internal drive toward mastery, whether in career, health, philosophy, or personal discipline. The Stoic concept of prokope, or moral progress, the ongoing journey toward becoming a wiser and more virtuous person, is inherently attractive because it signals a man who is not static, who is not settling, who is engaged in the difficult but rewarding work of self-mastery. Women can sense complacency just as easily as they sense growth, and few things are less attractive than a man who has stopped striving to become better. While understanding these 10 truths will not turn you into someone who manipulates or games women, and that was never the intention here. The Stoics were not interested in tricks or shortcuts. They were interested in wisdom, virtue, and self-mastery as ends in themselves, with better relationships as a natural byproduct of becoming a better man. When you internalize emotional intelligence, when you build genuine self-respect, when you learn to listen with full presence, and when you commit yourself to continual growth, you will find that not just romantic relationships, but every relationship in your life becomes deeper, more honest, and more fulfilling. This is the real promise of Stoic wisdom applied to modern love, not manipulation, but mastery of the self, which is the only thing any of us truly control. If this video gave you real value, please take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson in Stoic wisdom and modern relationships. Drop a comment below telling me which of these 10 truths hit you the hardest. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. Thank you for watching. Stay disciplined, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.